Hi, welcome back. Thanks for watching Talk Local on Rogers TV. We are talking about youth leaving care, and as promised, we are going to get to that video. 1,800 hits on YouTube so far. It's called Youth Leaving Care, and it really captures the prospects of aging out in the foster care system. Take a look.
I was brought up in a very religious home, so we were always taught that being gay or lesbian is not okay. I just remember hearing just a screech of tires behind us, and we both looked back and saw my mother, and she just rolled down her window and started yelling and said never to walk into her house again. That night she called me and told me that all my stuff was in the landfill, that I had no belongings at home. So then it was also like, okay, so now I don't have a place to live and I have no belongings, I have nothing. It was just a total shock, and I think I experienced a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of extreme feelings like that, and I think that was definitely a hard thing for me to get over because I felt like my parents had abandoned me. I can't say that I'm at peace with what happened. I think that I have taken what's happened and tried to use it in a positive way. I started 4 years ago volunteering for the agency. I just want to be able to show kids out there that if I got through it, so can they. And I want to be that source of help for someone. And I thought that was the biggest way that I could make that horrible thing that happened into a positive thing for other people. A lot of the kids that I personally work with, they all talk about wanting to finish school, wanting to go to university or college, and really they just need help getting there. It's not that they're not capable, they just need that extra help that right now maybe they're just not getting the way that they should be.
They all want to finish high school. They all want to have a good job that they love to go to. Most of the kids that we work with want to get married and have a house, and they all have goals in life, and each one has their own dream.
I want to go to finish my 4-year legal studies degree at University of Waterloo, and then continue on and become a police officer. I want to help the people that help me and in the same situation I was in, so I can give it back to the community that brought me out of a situation that wasn't so good growing up.
It takes a lot of courage for the children and youth that we work with to overcome the obstacles that they've been faced with. They need somebody that's going to be there for them long term and to help them achieve their goals, whatever those may be.
So right now the goal is just to get my apartment so far, and when that happens, go to college. So those are the two goals I have right now that are pretty important to me.
Our kids are no different than any other kids out there. They all have dreams and they all have goals that they want to accomplish in life.
Well, I plan on going to university. Plan on going to Ryerson for theater production and performance.
I really want to get into architecture after I graduate high school.
The supports that we as a society put into their lives are crucial, from guidance to school support to financial support, counseling, just being there for them and listening to them.
So just imagine at the age of 17 and a half what it would be like having to start to think about that you're going to be at 18, setting up your own apartment and leaving your home that you've known, if it's with a foster family or some other sort of placement, at the same time as dealing with all the other struggles of high school that every other 17-and-a-half-year-old is having to deal with.
So that's really a crucial time where you need the support around you to help you make decisions, help you, plan for independence. So that's a really important time.
Right now I'm actually pretty nervous about leaving care because going off to college basically is going to be really hard for me without the supports. I'll basically crash.
Being a teen and adolescent just in general is a very difficult time of life. And being a Crown Ward, now you have all the other things that go along with that in addition to being a teen and an adolescent. So now all of a sudden you're thinking, I'm living in this foster home, but I'm turning 18, I'm going to have to move out, I'm going to have to all of a sudden learn how to pay rent, pay my bills, go to school and get my education. Wait a minute, I don't have enough money, I'm going to have to work part-time too. That's a lot to ask of these kids. It's a lot to ask of any kid.
When you're 21, we hope that you're engaged in some kind of post-secondary education. And if you are, you're likely only halfway through it. And at 21, you lose financial and emotional support from the agency at a time when you could really use it the most.
By the time I'm 21, I'll be in my second year of culinary college, and I'm hoping to go there for like 3 or 4. So it'll be a fact of where they're gonna kind of cut you short there, and it's gonna be tough after that.
I've got to figure out how to push through with no one there supporting me, nobody giving me motivation. It's gonna be tough, and it's like a gut shot, really. So
We've told them all these years that it's going to be okay, strive to get that education, do well, and they've done it. They've done the work to get there, and now they're there, and now we kind of have to let them down, which is pretty difficult.
I already had my family taken away from me once, and it was probably the hardest thing in my life. I don't know where I was turning, what I was going to do. And when I turn 21, it's going to happen again.
It's really scary because it's like you're trying so hard and it's just, you get cut off right in the middle of like when you're trying to do your best work.
We've told them all along how education is important, so why do we pull supports away at a crucial time when they're in school at 21? It just doesn't make sense.
And they do hit their stride, I've seen it, but it takes them a little longer. And that's because of all the trauma and the adversity that they've had to deal with and they deal with on a daily basis. So they need that little bit more time. How do we give them a little bit more time? We need to extend the ECM from 21 to 25, especially for those kids that are trying to complete their education.
We hear the youth who say, we don't want stopper involvement age 21. Please help us. You need to do this for us. We want your support.
That would be so great, that'd get me enough on my track that I could, kind of take that extra time to get used to living on my own.
It would make going to school and classes a lot easier because I won't have to worry about paying for rent. I'll always know that I have that money to pay for a roof.
I really want to get into architecture.
Theater production and performance.
Go to college.
Become a police officer.
Why don't we give the kids that are making that effort, why don't we give them that extra push? They've fought so far already, why are we just gonna give them one more thing to fight against?
We can do better.
We can do better.
We have to do better.
I just want to be able to show kids out there that if I got through it, so can they. And I want to be that source of help for someone. I turned 21 in 2 months. Going to school.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Can you just count to 10, please?
Oh,
sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Continue. Go ahead, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
each
9,
school has
10.
their own. They
Hi, thanks for watching Talk Local on Rogers TV. Just watched the video and we have a couple of the stars live in studio with us now. Jessica Del Rosso joins us, former Youth in Care, and Brandon Eckett as well, Youth in Care. So welcome guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
So how did you like watching yourself again for you have 1,800 hits on YouTube, looks great, great to share your story. How was it making the video? Was it tough? Did it bring up a lot of emotion? Jessica, we can start with you.
Well, working with Memory Tree in general was amazing. The company was awesome. The people that we worked with were so understanding of the situation, and they really made it's a tough subject to talk about to anybody. As you can see in the film, I kind of choked up a little bit, and it's because, you know, you're talking about stuff that is intense and it has a lot of emotion related to it. But in general, it was an awesome experience, and I'm so happy that, you know, we got the opportunity to get our message out there.
For sure. And Brandon, in your bright yellow shirt, looking good.
Highlighter look, yeah.
How'd you find the experience?
It was a great experience. The guys, as Jess said, from Memory Tree were phenomenal. I mean, they asked the right questions. They made sure we said the right things at the right time, and they turned into a phenomenal video that we've got a lot of response from. We're looking for some more. So
okay, good. And you can see it on YouTube, of course, right? Youth Leaving Care, 1,800 videos, 1,800 hits so far. So let's talk a little bit, if we can, about kind of your own experience. As you said, Jessica, you just turned 21, and that's that number, right? So what happens next for you?
Well, I mean, the way that I kind of explain turning 21 to someone is that you already, being a youth in care, you already don't have much of a backbone, or a plan B is what I call it. You know, we have our workers, we have a few people to help us, but it's still not the same as living in a family where, you know, it happens naturally. It's something that we always have to hunt out ourselves.
Okay.
So when you're 21, you really, that little bit of a plan B is completely gone. So you're pretty much, as Allison had mentioned earlier, you're living in survival mode. You know, something that personally has changed for myself is, you know, I always worked since I was 15. But the difference now is I realized I was just laying in bed one night and I was like, wow, so now if I don't work, I actually don't have money to pay for my rent or for food in my fridge. Like, now it's a survival necessity. Like, in order to have food or a roof, it just puts a whole new perspective on things.
Yeah. And is this something that you think people have any idea of, just some of the things that you guys face and go through? And
well, I think something that is argued a lot when we talk about, you know, extending ACM to 25 is what makes us so different. What makes us so different from the youth that have to pay for their own school because their parents can't afford it? And I mean, my argument towards that is just look at all the stuff that we've been through throughout our whole lives. And, you know, for some of us, that has begun when we were 2 years old, maybe 10 years old. But education is something, like, again, Allison said, breaks the cycle. So I feel like that is something that always should be supported for youth in care, so that they can break that cycle and become a better person. You know, why are we just going to give youth in care something else to fight against by taking that funding and making it that much more difficult for them to better their future?
Yeah, sure. Brandon, what do you think? You're 20, right?
Yes.
So a little bit of time. And
yeah, I got a couple months to go, but you know, it's a scary thought that as soon as I hit 21, I've got brothers mentally and physically challenged. I've got to go out to see them a couple times a week, support them there. ECM has really helped me do that, as well as provide me with education, allow me to, you know, build on the building blocks to hopefully become, you know, a police officer in the future. My volunteering, I do a lot of that. I mean, with the ECM, it allows children in foster care to do way more than just support themselves. It allows them to go out and, you know, create relationships with people that they may not have if they're working a full-time job while attending school and taking on some of the other responsibilities that they may have to face. So it is going to be a big step when I turn 21. I mean, I'm going to face it head on, but right now, for the kids that are going to follow Jess and I through, we're really trying to you know, create a better future for them. So they don't have to face some of the things that we have to go through as soon as we hit 21.
Well, and even when we were watching the video and you guys were making